Hello, friends. How are you, my beautiful gods and goddesses? I wanted to check in with everyone and just share a little message about neutrality. Keeping neutral, not going too much where you believe there's only light and there is no darkness, and not going to the other side either, where you go into this rabbit hole where everything's just dark and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So for that, I just wanted to do a quick meditation, and you can always replay this afterwards. There's just so much beautiful energy that's happening right now, and at the same time, it's coming in so fast that it's overwhelming. And even for people that have been working consciously, knowing that this energy is coming up, it's still shaking us up. So there's a lot of ebbs and flows that are coming in. And for some people that have not been working on it consciously, it feels like there is a huge tug of war going on inside, because you're being faced and you're being challenged to make new moves, maybe start a new diet, start a new hobby, make new friends, go on a trip. Do listen to yourself inside and take those first steps and move forward. So I want to tune in, do a quick 3-minute meditation, and then just go ahead and talk a little bit about neutrality and how we can reach that. So I invite you to find a comfortable place where you can have your back straight. If you need to do it falling asleep, that's okay, or laying down. Bring your hands into prayer position. Prayer position, what happens is that both the left side and the right side of our hemisphere come to balance, which is why as soon as we put our hands together, naturally we just tend to relax. It's our hemispheres of our brains coming into balance. Take a deep breath. Release. Check in with the gaze of your eyes. You want it to be towards the middle of your eye, not looking down and looking up, but looking in the middle of your eye. That way we're attracting much higher vibration. And I want you to just feel your breath. Just breathe naturally. Just breathe naturally and feel the warmth, the caress, the gentle whisper of your breath. Feel that life, that energy force that is dancing in your body. It is so subtle, but you can feel it. I know there are a lot of breathwork activity out there, meditations, and it's great. And there's a time and place for everything, and we're all being called to the different type of work depending on where we are in our development growth. And if we have been living more in our masculine, or we've been living more in our feminine, it's going to differ. So for me, I've been living more in my masculine for most of my life, because I was abandoned when I was a little girl, when I was 3.5 years old, and I was living with my grandparents. So I made up this defense mechanism. All of a sudden, my best friend, my mom, is gone, and that was harsh for me. And I didn't see her till after 5.5 years again. And of course, I couldn't see this till I started doing deeper work. So for me, I've been called to do gentle work, being able to connect with my femininity side, because all my life I've worked really, really hard to get what I want and what I needed in order to prove myself, to protect myself. And now I'm learning how to receive by just being, but being more gentle. And in all reality, the way that we receive is when we relax. When we relax, we're able to absorb nature, we're able to really feel in the breath of life, the air, really allow for that fire inside of us to awaken and give complete ecstasy to our whole body. So just breathe naturally. Breathe naturally and just feel that gentle air. Notice how your belly naturally just blows up, it inflates. And if it's not, you may be breathing only up to your chest level. And we do want to work on breathing in a little deeper where it becomes natural for all of that energy, all that prana, all the life force to be going and showering all of your body. So just continue feeling. And you can have a mantra going. I just recorded this beautiful 3-minute and 5-minute meditation for my 21-day self-love challenge that I'm going to be gifting to everyone. And the mantra is, love as you inhale and peace as you exhale. And the love follows your inhale, not the other way around. And the peace follows your exhale. And if your inhales are long, your loves are going to be longer. So it may sound mentally more like love and peace. And as you become very aware of your breath, and you're following it and going through the ebbs and flows, noticing the contractions and the expansions of your body, you're going to notice the natural pause that the breath does. That beautiful pause where we find that bliss and that moment of nothingness where everything stops. And that pause is going to be in that natural switch that happens between the contraction and the expansion, between the inhale and the exhale. So just continue feeling your breath. If you're listening to this live and you're driving, just feel your breath as you're driving with your eyes open. And I do invite you to go back and replay this. And like I said, I'm going to be launching the 3-minute, 5-minute meditation with beautiful music that you can listen to when you have time at home with your eyes closed, with your back straight, preferably, as this is for the beginners. Beautiful. We dropped into our heart. It's always good before speaking about such sensitive subjects to drop into our heart, to call in spirit, and to guide us. So our words are coming in from our highest self, from Source, from the Creator, and step away from our ego and what we think is our agenda. And I'm being called to really talk about neutrality. I just recorded 2 podcasts yesterday as well. It's going to be launching beginning of October, end of September, when I'm back in the US. And it just seems like many people are they're exaggerating, whether you're going too much into defense mode or you're being more in the victim mode. And it's hard to see it, and I understand that, because everything that we do and that we say, we do it from our best intentions. Everything that we do, we say is like, well, I'm doing it because I love you, right? Because it comes from the best of us, but from the best of what we know and how much we've been educated. And what we're here for is we're unlearning everything that we have been taught. Everything has come from the dark ages, where it was a very much heavy patriarchal society, which is what we're still living with. And slowly it's becoming more matriarchal, where we're dropping into our hearts. We have done a lot of damage through many centuries, through many lineages, where both women and men have lost the nurturing of the mother. And the mothers that have been raising their children didn't have that. So they passed on fear to their children. They didn't speak their truth, especially for women been abused for many generations, sexually abused to the point where those stories haven't been shared, or we found out till after grandma, mom had passed away. And then here is the new generation, and they're attracting certain situations. They don't understand why, but they're noticing they are being repetitive. And that's because since everything's energy and like attracts like, we have that residue that lives within us, which is why we say that we are our ancestors. We carry that vibration, and it's up to us. We decided as our souls, we decide the parents that we want, for the lessons that we came here to learn in this life. So we pick this lineage, and it's for us to be able to go within the wise that is in you, connect to your higher self, to source, to the foundation that is conscious, and really work in how is it that you can overcome and really find the neutrality within you. And notice how I'm not saying specifically light. And we are light and love, yes, of course. Yet we are made from the darkness. And all the nutrients and all the main ingredients that we need in order to manifest this new world and this new reality where we're more light and more joyful is in that darkness, in all our pain that we feel, in those uncomfortable feelings that we're having. And it's for us to go beyond coping. We've been doing a lot of coping where we say a nice mantra. Ho'oponopono is very popular, and we like kind of shake it off, which is beautiful. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves in a more altered state, which is great. And then we move on to our day and we're in a more lighter phase, which is great. However, what we're seeing is it comes back, and come back. And it's the same lesson that we're trying to learn. It's not a new lesson. Life are ebbs and flows, and we're constantly learning. We're not going to learn everything in this lifetime, and that's beautiful, but we got to see a progression where we're evolving, where we're past one lesson and now we're on to the next one. And even with me, at the beginning, I noticed that it's like, okay, I have these great tools and I feel so much better after I meditate or doing Ho'oponopono, these beautiful mantras. But then it comes back and it's the same exact lesson, same exact feelings. So how do we go beyond that? And that is by going in and actually not pushing away those uncomfortable feelings. If it's so heavy that we need to cope with it right away, let's do that first and then go back to it. But as we strengthen our nervous system, we're going to be able to just sit with that pain, sit with that uncomfortable feeling, and give it attention. At the beginning, it could just be neutral, or you're just observing. And then we want to give it love. We want to accept it. Because guess what? That is you. By you not embracing and loving that part of you that is calling out for you, that is crying out for your attention because it's feeling pain and we're pushing it away, we're not accepting ourselves and we're not loving all of us. So whatever we're feeling right now, that is what it's ready to come up. And then you move on from that. You love it. And then you see how things, new fruits start coming up. But it's not about just having the fruit. It's that we're so stuck on wanting, oh, we're done with that. Now I'm going to move on to the next thing. It's like the fruit is amazing. And what's inside a fruit is the seeds. So we get the seeds from the fruits to once again start a new cycle. We get those seeds, we honor it, because without the seeds, there's no continuity, there's no more regeneration. The cycle is always continuing. So sometimes we see the fruit and we think we've made it, we're done with that lesson. Especially life is a spiral. Sometimes a lesson will come back in, but it's a much deeper understanding. And the one much deeper understanding that we're all here to learn for many, many, many lifetimes, it's unconditional love. We are still little children running around, crying out for love that we didn't receive and that we're learning ourselves. Especially those who are reacting, especially those who we think are doing horrible things. That's their way of crying out for attention. It's a cry for love. And as we strengthen our nervous system, as we learn to love ourselves by accepting all of who we are, that is how we're going to start feeling compassion for the other. Instead of walking away or judging them or putting them in a category and protecting yourself, we're going to see where they're coming from. And obviously, if it's a situation of danger, we do need to walk away, use discernment. But we're going to see it from another perspective, where we're going to learn how to really ground and be in our roots. So we are centered. So if things get more chaotic, we are that eye of that tornado. We are the ones that can anchor that neutrality and that peace for others to come and find it in times of chaos. We are entering a time where there are many, many changes. And the pandemic, COVID, has been amazing because more and more people are waking up. They're seeing the truth. And the old system just isn't working. And it's going to come in many shapes and forms. And there are going to be those people who are not listening to messages like this, or they're not ready for that, and that's okay. But those that are listening to this, it's because there is a calling. You've probably done this in the past before, where you have been a wise master, a high priest, a high priestess, but you've been in that role where you've been able to align yourself and maintain that peace, and you're just remembering. So it is up to us to stay in the center, to help others find that peace, that lightness, to help them work with the darkness that they're dealing with. You are a ray of light. So that was my message for today. Stay within neutrality, love the darkness, love the light, bring them together to have that alignment of mind, body, and spirit. Your mind sometimes is telling you one thing, your body is reacting differently to it. And your spirit also has its own history as well. And those are emotions that are running through. So we want to align all three and really drop in and see what is best for us. And you will feel it in your bones. Your body's such a beautiful indicator, and be very aware if it's the animalistic indicator, if you really are in your zone or it's coming from higher source and you're in your bliss. And you'll know it. Really practice with this when you're attracted to someone else, right? It's like, are you doing it because you want to please them, or are you doing it because there's an urge in your body, right? But is everything aligned? So that's my message to you. I love you all. Gods and goddesses, remember you are the creator of your reality. Light and love from Mama Bali, Lemurian Lights. Love you. Take care. Bye.